I'm about to show you two kinds of fats, bad fats and good fats. Which one do you think squeezes into your arteries, clogs up your heart, and eventually gives you a heart attack by 45, 55 years old, like happens to a lot of men? That's right, the one that's the smaller granules. Take a look at this. This is going to represent triglycerides. These big ones, these big rocks, are going to represent HDL, high density lipids. You want to minimize the small stuff because over time it will clog up your heart. This is basically what it would look like, right? Eat enough of these guys. Enough of these guys in this tube, which could represent the heart, just for illustration's sake. It's going to eventually, that stuff's going to be pouring out the top. Pouring out the top. It's got nowhere to go because you've ruined yourself by overeating and primarily by eating too many what? That's right, too many carbs. It's the carbs that get stored as the bad cholesterol, gentlemen. It's the carbs. It's not the fats. It's eating abundant excess carbs that will jack you up permanently. The good news is this can be reversed if you start now. This can be reversed. So I want to give you a bit of an illustration on what it looks like inside of our bodies, right? What's happening. This little guy here, let's say these are our tries, like I said. The small stuff, the more granular things that squeeze in there and cause all kinds of havoc, right? You're eating carbs, eating carbs, eating carbs. Boom, 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 right? Eventually, like I say, the inside of your heart is going to be nice and packed with that stuff, right? Nice and packed. What's the antidote? Well, God has given us something to undo the madness. It's called high-density lipids. How do you create the high-density lipids? By the way, they go by HDL. That's the kind of layperson's terminology for it, HDL. They are larger molecules. Let's say they're like these stones here, larger molecules. And when you are active, and when you have plenty of vitamin D, you get sunshine, and when you're eating things like fish oils and anchovies and good grass-fed meats that have good omega-3 content, that's what you want, the omega-3s. When you're having plenty of those, they start to go in there. Now you have protection. This is what your heart's going to look like now, in the sense that the big beauties, they're not going to go anywhere they don't need to be. They can't penetrate the inside of the tiny arteries that keep your heart nourished and that keep your two atria on the top and the two ventricles on the bottom pumping freely, expanding and contracting appropriately in the right rhythm without interference or impedance. These big guys, the HDLs, are the ones that will save your life. And like I say, the HDLs are going to be had from a few different things. I've talked about this before, but I'll repeat it. It bears mentioning again. One of them is plenty of vitamin D, which you can get from sunshine, or you can supplement with vitamin D. Any kind of physical activity. Walking is perfect. Going upstairs, even better, or high-intensity training. And, of course, very important, keeping that weight low, and especially the carbs low, gentlemen. Weight low, carbs low will keep your heart nice and strong forever. There's no reason you can't go 100 years without having to even think about a heart attack, while all of our friends and family all around us are suffering, falling apart, faint, lacking oxygen, or getting oxygen, for God's sakes, artificially pumped into you after a certain age, not able to void the phlegm and the shit that you start accumulating in your lungs because your heart is not strong enough to pump it out through the pulmonary vein. All these kinds of things happen to way too many men, and they're completely unnecessary. So again, go for the good stuff, man. Go for the high density stuff that we've talked about. Omega-3 oils. Keep the walking, keep the movement going, and definitely stay away from the carbs, gents. They are not your friend. Stay strong. I invite you to join the conversation with myself and other men and what we're all doing to find that inner savage and bring them to life. Not only for our benefit, but for the benefit of those around us, people we care about. All right, man, stay strong.